You can't expect to always run without anything, then go to an important marathon, and then that's the race where you do that for the very first time.
You're not building a nutrition schedule and a training program for no reason. You're doing it to be competitive and to do better. I finished well, I got the points, and I'm going to the XTERRA National Championship. This is where the best of the best as far as XTERRA races go in the United States. I didn't think I was going to get here, actually, and I had a rough race at Indian Peaks, but was able to sort of squeeze in a race in Peoria, get enough points, and slide into this race, so I'm really just stoked to be here. I love having my family here. Just a real uplifting thing. You know, Triathlete usually comes to all these, but the kids don't get to come to very many, so to have them here is pretty special.
Ryan is such a huge competitor that he has to do well. I'm always trying to be a supporter of whatever he wants to do.
We watched him fall in love with Trista.
We have Ryan Sutter, who you might know him as a football player, a firefighter, a former bachelor.
That's all they really know is I was on television, and my wife chose me out of 25 guys, so that doesn't really give you much of an endurance sport reputation. For me, there's always this kind of, I guess, chip on my shoulder where I just want to go out and demonstrate that there's more to me than that. I am an athlete, and that, you know, I'm not here just because, you know, someone wants to take pictures of me. I've gained a tremendous amount of respect for the people that I race with, and so I'm constantly trying to prove that I belong here.
It's a brutal course. 1 mile swim, 30-kilometer mountain bike, climbs 3,600 feet, and a 6-mile punishing trail run. Got nearly 4,000 feet of vertical climbing at altitude. Even the downhills are tricky because they're so fast. Yeah, it's a challenge.
It's going to be hot here, so that compounds the fact that I sweat a lot anyways. I'm going to be really conscious of how much fluid I'm taking in, making sure that I'm not setting myself up for cramping issues. This is all of the best XTERRA athletes in the country. I'm going to go as hard as I can and see how it all turns out. I'm hoping to come in under 3 hours. It seems like a realistic goal. A lot of the races will stagger the start. This was everybody at once. So you're kind of getting bumped around and you can never really get into a rhythm. And then the bike was so much uphill. I was using bigger muscles for a longer time than I was used to. So I knew that was going to set me up for some fatigue during the run. Usually in a race you'll have a couple opportunities to hydrate. This only has one aid station on the bike, so it's limited.
That's one of the hardest parts about the mountain bike. Your forearms can barely survive the bumps that you're facing. You're not going to take your hands off the handlebars. So, you know, getting nutrition needs in is a little bit different to a normal triathlon because you do have to concentrate on every single inch of that trail.
And the run is like straight up, so you're going from legs that are tired to trying to get them to go uphill. It was just hard. I knew I was out of gas, so it was just a matter of trying to find one simple thing to focus on to get through the end. I honestly went back to sort of what McKeely told me about just trying to keep my elbows high. It makes you feel good to finish it when it's that hard, but it's kind of frustrating when you've set some sort of goals that you wanted to achieve and, you know, those aren't really happening. It's the national championship race for a reason. Is that not going to make it easy? And it definitely wasn't. I kind of know when things are starting to sort of circle the drain in the wrong direction. On the descent, I crashed, and then there's a short little climb. I started to kind of cramp up on that. It seems to me what's happening is whenever I try to introduce something into my system, I'm so dehydrated that it's kind of too late, and my stomach sort of gets shocked. I just sort of came to grips with the fact that the race wasn't going to be what I had hoped at the onset, but that I could still finish it. So I was going to make the most of it, but man, it was a bit of a sufferfest. This season isn't over. I still have the Rev 3 coming up and New York City Marathon. When it comes down to it, you can be given all these opportunities and this sort of knowledge, and in the end, it's just up to me to find the time to do the trainings that are suggested, to work on the nutrition side of things. You sort of have to whisper in your own ear to say, hey, bring a little extra Gatorade and let's train your stomach to absorb it during the run.
We're really starting to get into the tough part of this challenge. You got to get it all dialed in or you're going to feel it.
He's so far past that reality star stuff in our world. You know, he's proven himself. He's gotten the dirt. He's mixed it up with everybody. He's just one of us. He's part of the tribe.
Now that we're over halfway through the events, I still have advice coming. So there's still a lot of opportunity to get better.
Today I'm working with Chris Lee, who's going to give me some tips for an upcoming Rev 3 triathlon I've got.
People need to realize that training has a purpose.
You want to get the most out of your training as possible, especially people like me who are trying to squeeze this into already busy lives.
Don't go easy on them now.
No, there's no way. I don't like going easy.